Yo, 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 yo,
Yo,
yo. Turn down the mic. We got the hot mics. Let me see. We just getting started. We just hopping in. We do apologize for the tardiness. Shout out to the fam. Just dropped off the contents. Um, Condolences to the young one who lost their life
man.
on up here by Mellon on what was that, Friday night? Yeah, it was so for all of those who aren't here in DC, a 6-year-old young lady unfortunately lost her life. Um, the mother the is still, in critical condition. So, I was going to do a, live separate video. I still may do it. But I really just wanted to send my condolences in terms of understanding the chaos, and then as you brought to my attention, the issue or the shooting that happened at the Nat Stadium.
Yeah.
Um, you know, I'm gonna keep DC in my prayers. I warned people of this. It will only get worse if we all can't hold all sides accountable. Whether it be people in the community, whether it be government officials. I'm very aware of all of the conditions that breed these different outcomes, for lack of a better word. And I just wanted to say that before we get started. So that might not be a video. Y'all let me know in the comments. Please. But so this is another episode of Eavesdrop, man. We appreciate y'all for joining us on this Sunday. And if you're going to catch this on replay, please like the video, which is free. Please share the video, which is free. And leave a comment. And if you want to see certain conversations discussed, make sure and leave that and let that be known. Today, we're going to be talking about Joe Biden and voting rights, or better yet, the whole DNC and voting rights. Or better yet, America in voting rights. And we also want to talk about Jamaican reparations, and how those two things intertwine, and the solidarity that we need across the board in terms of all of these calls for reparations to bring down these European nations. A lot of people talk about imperialism. Imperialism. But the progressives are here quiet. But
Ooh, man.
I ain't gonna say too much, but please go ahead. Yes, if you here with us, please hit the like button. Please hit the share button. And as we continue to go throughout the show, feel free to hop on. Everybody can jump in. You do not have to be a person who agrees. You do not have to be somebody who holds the same views, ideologies, be from the same class, or any of those things. We want all different kinds of people, and we need all different people to, deliver what they actually think about a lot of these situations and a lot of these topics. So that's what we're here for. That's what we're gonna keep moving on. And this is a great Sunday. Get y'all libation. Shout out to Yvette Cornell.
I know, right? You seen the conference?
Yeah, boy, you already know, man. Hey, look,
Hey, we in that joint,
we in there.
man.
You got your ticket?
I'm about to get them Jones.
All right. Okay. Because I'm gonna see if the wife want to go too. I'm definitely this. I missed the last one this year. I'm definitely in the building. Because I also did you sign up for the Advocacy Foundation?
I didn't know it was a sign up thing.
Yeah, you can sign up, bro.
Oh yeah, I'm
You
with
can
it.
sign up.
I'm with it.
I'm waiting for my They reached out. I'm waiting for my response back, but I'm definitely ready to be in the mix
Yeah.
because ADOS is going to be the wave. if you are African American, Black American, you might want to hop on the wave before the wave becomes the wave.
Well, damn that. If you listen, everybody needs to be on point.
This is true.
Everybody.
Thank you for correcting me, because everybody need to be on
Everybody
point.
need to be on this.
Because they do have. It's not necessarily about pitting one group against the other, which is a very large misnomer that's going on right now. So it definitely is open and welcome for all different walks of life, all different POC groups who stand in solidarity with um, American descendants of slavery. And of course, we all stand in solidarity with them, which is why, we have the political climate and people in position currently in the way that they are. But what we're asking for right now is just some reciprocation, a lot of reciprocation, actually, because giving us our just due is game, set, match for Western imperialism.
Yes.
All day, every day. But without further ado, I'm going to just go ahead, pass the ball to my man, Quan. What you got for us today, man? Let me know. We talking, you talking. Go ahead.
Hey, so listen, we gonna get into this article, man, with your boy Jim Crow. How you go from Jim Crow Joe to Jim Crow vote, man? Let's get into this real quick, man.
NPR?
NPR.
Okay. Go ahead, do you? And so we got up here, the voting rights activist thinks Biden actions fall short of his dire warnings.
So look, it starts off when we're talking about the speech that he delivered. It says, when President Biden gave a much anticipated voting rights speech in Philadelphia this week, he called the fight against restrictive voting laws the most significant test of our democracy since the Civil War.
Must you go on further? Do you smell cap?
I smell cap.
Super cap.
Woo! I smell cap. All right, let's keep going. Oh, I ain't finished that line right there.
Okay.
And decried that he called a 21st century Jim Crow assault on voting rights. Oh my God, why did I not highlight that part right there? In what life do you get to lock up or be a part of a bill that locked up everybody and they granddaddy and then try to call? Hold on.
Go ahead. Keep on.
And then try to call anything the 21st century Jim Crow.
There you go.
What exactly would you call the crime bill? If this is the Jim Crow, a 21st century Jim Crow assault, what was the crime bill, sir?
A 20th century assault?
Let's keep going. Okay, it says, but a lot of people who turned out voters to elect Biden think he's failing them in the battle for voting rights so far. Latasha Brand, a co-founder of Black Voters Matter, said that Biden raised a number of meaningful points during the speech, but added that the challenge for me is what he didn't say.
We have a very serious problem.
Very.
If we're talking about a sense of urgency, like he laid out in his speech around democracy, this country has actually gone to war in the name of democracy, Brown said in an interview before meeting with Vice President Harris about voting at the White House on Friday, along with other Black women leaders. The question is, how are we going to respond to what the Republicans are doing right now? And will the full weight of the White House be used to make sure that we secure permanent voting rights for our citizens.
So move down a little bit further. Did you want to continue reading, or you want to drop in some bombs?
Man, listen.
Dropping some bombs real quick.
They talking about making sure that we secure. Can we get the guy is not about this. They wanting this man to do presidential. He's not about to do any of these things. Any of these things. Let's just keep going because this is all cap. I'm talking about. You see the cap locks? I'm about to put the cap locks for the rest of the whole jump because this is all cap. It's cap locked. Many voting rights advocates say they believe Biden has devoted much more of his time and political capital to other priorities, pointing to the bipartisan infrastructure bill as a timely example. Biden huddled behind closed doors with lawmakers over that issue earlier in the week, pushing them to support the plan. He's still using his bully pulpit. He's still traveling to states. He's still giving speeches. He's still going to Congress. And he's using the full power of his office to wrangle those votes. Negro, you in office already. Wrangle a bill.
I mean, he do know how to sign some executive orders.
I mean, but I guess.
He do.
Ain't nobody.
He said DACA. He said the ruling that they did down in DACA was probably the worst thing ever that he's seen.
But here's my thing. Ain't none of that substantial. Because you can undo an executive order as soon as you lose office.
They undoing that now. Now he in office.
It said Ezra Levin, the co-founder of the progressive group Indivisible. If it works for roads and bridges, why shouldn't it work for our democracy? I mean, he pretty much summed it up. If you can come down for these roads and bridges, if you can lock black folk up by the droves, if you can show all of this, you can put all this pressure on people to do everything under the sun to everybody else. Why can't you throw your weight around to get these voting rights? But you want to sit up here and be Martin Luther King trying to give everybody the right to vote. Come on now. None of this is going to get done.
Why you feel like that?
Huh?
Why you feel like none of them are going to get done?
What is his track record on everything thus far? None of this. We can't even get a anti-lynching bill through Biden. So what make you think we're going to get voting rights through Biden? He don't even want to speak to the Guatemalans about policy that he promised to that part of the world.
But I think one of the bigger caveats in this that we've read thus far is the piece about not fulfilling and coming through. And then also, as we see up here a little bit further, in terms of how we want to respond to what Republicans are doing right now, and whether or not we're going to, get permanent voting rights for citizens. Because I think the better question for this situation in this moment that we're having is that, one, it's egregious, and I think it's a bait and switch to position voting rights right now in a time and a climate where he is supposed to be the bipartisan champion, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so this shouldn't even be a heavy lift. You're supposed to have your Dixiecrats and your GOP members in line and intact to be able to deliver on a bipartisan bill in the blink of a hat, similar to how you all did on Juneteenth.
Listen,
And so
they're still trying to sway Joe Manchin on voting
they're
rights,
not trying to sway no Joe Manchin,
and he's gang.
but he not gang gang. He gang gang Dixiecrats.
Like, hit it one time. Like, it's ridiculous, man. It's ridiculous.
Do we have a very serious problem?
It's no way, no way. You got to convince your own party on everything.
Why is it ridiculous though?
Because my thing is, okay, let's go by what was presented to us. So what was presented to us was that, oh, it was going to be this big blue wave. We were just going to get a big old blue wave, and everybody was going to vote. Was just going to go blue. Everybody was going to go blue. Everybody was tired of this. So I'm just keeping score at this point. There was no blue wave. It was barely a blue ripple. We didn't get $15 hour minimum wage. We ain't getting no anti-lynching bill. I don't even think he's prepared to even speak on raising the taxes on any of the wealthy.
No, we're not even prepared to speak on raising the minimum wage. But again,
Like,
people vote for the lesser evil, and this is what we
exactly.
get.
And look, the last line says it perfectly. It says it felt like the president fully understands the threats to our democracy, but seems to be leaving the fight to everybody else. AKA when you let Kamala Harris tell them Guatemalans that they couldn't come, but you was Mr. Immigration. So they can't even get their bills.
Mm-hmm.
You just backdooring everybody. I've never seen this in life, ever. I've never seen somebody, a president. I mean, okay, so there's always been things that you champion that just don't end up working. But literally, what thus far has he said that he was going to do that he hasn't rolled back yet on? Because my man's been he been rolling back policies left and right.
Not only has he been rolling back policies, he's been neglecting the ones that he stood for, which for me is very problematic because what we'll talk about later in the whole get out the vote situation, um, it's making it very hard for people to still find faith and believe in the Democratic Party. I know a lot of people and a lot of loyalists don't necessarily see it that way.
What do they see? I want to know what they see.
They see the echo chamber, fam. They don't hear
What
people
are they
like
telling each
they don't
other?
hear people like you. They don't talk to people who are outside of it. They only talk to people who agree.
But what are they saying?
That is
What are
all
they convincing themselves? A better question.
that we are winning. That the
Winning what?
GOP is bad. That it's the GOP's fault. That it's nobody else but Mitch McConnell. That if
Winning
the
what?
GOP wasn't in the way, we will be having all of the progress in the world.
But here's my thing. At this point, I don't even know who's worse, Mitch McConnell or Joe Manchin. They about equal to me.
A lot of people would disagree with you.
They equal to me. They equal. Cause I mean, look, if one don't like it, the other don't. So either way, it's two people that's on your side, and one is on the other side, and they're both telling you no every step of the way. So what are we really talking about here? I would love to sit down and talk to these Democratic people who really think that it's just peaches and roses. Because I can tell you right now, We lost. It's no way in God's green earth that in 2022 they have anything to run on. If I was Asian, I would vote Democrat.
We have a very serious problem.
As a, I don't even, as a black person, or what did we get? What did we get? I mean, I didn't vote for him, so I knew. But if I voted for Joe Biden right now, what do I have to hang my hat on for that vote? What did that vote gain me that I wouldn't have gotten if old boy would have gotten the office?
COVID relief.
So that's all we. Oh, by the way, they locking y'all up for them frauds too. I've been paying attention. They got a whole PPP police out there. So hey, listen, it was fun while it lasted. That's all I'm gonna say. It was fun while it lasted.
It's gonna keep lasting because we might be back on the inside.
I know, right?
It's looking like we gonna be back on the
I
inside.
know, right?
On the inside.
And it's crazy because you got the certain states that stop giving out the unemployment roll. You know, the relief for the unemployment.
It's gonna get hectic.
It's gonna get bad.
It's gonna get apoplectic. I don't know what that means, but it's gonna be rectified. Hey, nah, let me stop playing.
Hey, listen.
Hey, bro, the shit is bad, man. Hey, look, and the crazy part is, man, look, the whole thing. This is my thing about the whole Joe Biden speaking on voting rights, is if this is the next civil or the same as the Civil War of our generation. Civil rights. Everybody love using civil rights.
Yeah, like
as a ploy and as a moniker and as a way to, connect with the black voters.
It's so disrespectful.
But the problem is black voters love it though. The problem is black voters like having that connection made. It's not a connection to be made because this is the thing. If white Americans were really as serious as they were about advocacy around American Negroes, those people, they wouldn't co-opt issues like statehood and talk about how statehood is a racial issue when it's not. Because it's not. And a lot of people get upset when I say it's not, because it's not.
It ain't.
It's a matter of autonomy of an entity that is a business, because states are businesses the same way the United States is a business or a conglomerate of states. But whatever. Most people just want more power, but that's a conversation for another day.
That's what I'm saying. Because even still, when we was Chocolate City, they didn't think not once to make it no state. Now it's a whole bunch of who's. Now it's time to make it a state.
And they still don't want to make it a state.
Exactly.
Because it ain't enough.
I know, right?
Nope. We got to get the black lady out first. We got to make sure. Because she might pull one up on us. I don't care if she around here walking with Fauci and doing things for the DNC. Nope, I don't trust her.
Hey, listen, man.
But again,
at least she was honest. She told them people, "Yeah, I'm a build that little Black Lives Matter street, but I'm not defunding a fucking thing. Y'all can miss me with defunding some police."
But that's the thing, man. Don't nobody listen and actually pay attention to the truth and the reality. But we gonna go ahead and we gonna move.
And they tearing the Democrats up on defunding police.
Because again, the police make it easy.
Hey, listen, they is having a blast with putting the crime rates and criminal activity. They are having. I'm thinking some of them just get off on showing crime. And be like, yeah, that's the defund the police.
No, because the police make it easy. Because again, they are not equipped to do certain things. Exactly. And it's just the reality of it.
As if their presence made any of these issues better. Like
No,
more
no.
police ain't never shut, and that's verifiable through data as well.
And so, what we gonna do? Because we just talked a lot of trash about this whole voting situation. Get out the vote. Let's talk about Kamala Harris and what she's about. Because we all know. So, Vice President Harris announces $25 million expansion of DNC's I Will Vote initiative on July 8th, 2021. And so, we're going to jump down. Voter registration. The I Will Vote expansion will include millions in funding, including with partners to register voters, a reflection of the Biden-Harris team's commitment to those who are doing some of the strongest work on the ground in communities that deeply need additional investment. As we fight back against some of the most egregious attacks on voters and voting rights in decades, it's critically important that the party apparatus also invest in targeted voter registration efforts where specific needs are identified, where voters from particular backgrounds have been targeted with difficult registration requirements, or where states have made it more difficult for nonprofit organizations to be involved. It's funny to always hear that because most local as well as federal uh, institutions stronghold a lot of nonprofits from speaking politically because they are attached to that. And so it is what it is. I know how it's going to go. You're not going to be able to get put on unless you are willing to go ahead and go and say and speak all of the nonsense and foolery and not speak out against the same BS that's on the other side of it. I'm going to skip over the voter protection part just off of the fact that if people were serious about voter protection, and if people had been serious about voter protection, we would not be in a place that we are having to have this conversation every half decade.
Yeah, we should have been. We should have been dealing with this since 2000.
Because what happens is they use this issue to make you feel like you're getting something when you're not. Because the sad part is, and this is for all the POCs who have just entered into the space, I want y'all to know, I want y'all to understand that this is a red herring. This is to undermine reparations. This is to undermine the fact that Black Americans, ADOS, American Negroes, and I'll say even as well as POC people are starting to realize the BS, the nonsense. So let's swarm with voter protection. But again, if voter protection was as serious as a lot of people say, as quickly as they can move on a bipartisan bill to make Juneteenth a holiday, I think that they would be able to move as swiftly on making this a permanent thing. We don't have to keep coming back around to this every so many odd years. But guess what? Both sides are really racist. So, yes, it is what it is. So we're going to go down to voter education. The DNC will commit millions to television and digital advertising, especially digital communications, to better educate voters on how to participate, how to register, and where and when to vote. Sounds like a lot like control. Get your booty to the polls.
Get Pookie and Ray Ray to use his vote.
Yeah, in an effort to reach new and younger voters and diverse constituencies, the DNC will partner with social media creators across platforms such as Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok to highlight what President Biden and Democrats have achieved and what they can do to help elect Democrats up and down the ballot.
Oh. And see, that's how Trump gonna get them on that technology.
My thing is, what have you all done?
Exactly. What the TikTokers gonna do? They already on strike. I would stay on strike if I had to do this BS. I want to speak. I need to speak to these Democrats that really think that they're in a good space. I need to see what it is that they see because this is bad. 2022 is looking bad for them. I just need to be able to run down the list of everything they have not accomplished. And I want them to tell me line.
Or everything Joe Biden reneged on.
I want them to tell me line for line what is the good that came out of this that make them so confident. I need to know. I want to know. Seriously, if there's a Democrat out there that really thinks that this is a great thing, if you're out there, please at Quan.
No, the link is here.
Please,
Hop is here. Hop in here.
Get on because I need to hear it because I don't see nothing. Nothing. If I voted for these, it's no way. What is a TikTok supposed to do?
Too loud. It's through propaganda. And I talk about everything that they reneged on. I don't know, because again, outside of that, I don't know. Because I'm not about to talk around or talk about how things tinker in and around the edges and how that's such a good deed when we're talking about people who have immense power to shape a new landscape. And so, again, nigga reneged on minimum wage, nigga reneged on Medicare for all.
And I want to say he rolled back infrastructure. It went from like a couple trillion. I think he down to damn near 1 trillion now.
Not only that, it's going to be dealt off into the private sector. And so the private sector will have a lot more leverage. And when you talk about doing business with these tech conglomerates, you're only giving them more leverage and power as tech conglomerates to where, everybody loves the whole romanticization about, what's her name? Maxine Waters. I was about to say Maxine Davis.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sorry. That's because I know I was conflating two names.
Yeah.
But Maxine Waters talking about reclaiming her time when you also aren't doing nothing. And the sadder part is, just like in the city, when we have young babies being shot down, most people who fake like they care don't really care. I see a lot of tweets all of the time. I see a lot of videos all of the time. I see a lot of things all of the time, man. And I just be like, man, this fake shit is killing me on the inside because none of y'all really care. Please don't do no more press conferences. I'm like, press conferences don't matter.
Especially if we were to take it here, especially if you're not going to keep the same energy. Because when it came to COVID, when them press conferences was coming out, your plans and how you detailed how you were going to attack things and how things were going to, that was so elaborate, so detailed. We heard week to week, day to day, what you were going to do to attack COVID. But goddamn it, we living through what is this? The war in DC again? What they called it?
What,
Back in the day?
drugs?
Nah, a city under siege. We living through that right now.
I thought you was talking about murder capital.
Yeah, we living through that right now.
Murder capital.
And you ain't trying to give none of that COVID relief attention to this.
But the thing is, though,
you was on every week we saw exactly what your plan of attack was. how you were going to roll this out, who was going to be in charge of dispersing this, how you was going to be able, like, it was so detailed. It was beautiful to see. Why can't we get that for this crime that's going on out here in these streets? And this is across the board. This is not even just this DC. Goddamn Lori Lightfoot ain't do. Listen, her, Lance, all of them, Slim. All of them. Crime is crazy everywhere. And these people just don't know what to do. But when you mention COVID, oh, they had all the smoke. They knew exactly what they needed to do in order to solve that. When it was time to shut it down, boom, they made it happen. But with crime, for some reason, it's just like, oh, oh, the neighborhoods, the community. No. I need the same COVID response to this crime. That's the response we need. I need you out here week to week telling the people what you're going to do to make these streets safe. If you could do it for COVID, do it for this crime that's out in the streets, because it's wild. And it's everywhere in the United States. And y'all wild for letting it go down like that. Especially when you had all that smoke when it came down to COVID.
But the problem is that that's not the DNC's platform. And most Democratic elected in high places are led by the DNC's platform. And that's just the honest truth. I think that is a multifaceted issue, but I agree in the sense that people are very meticulous about other matters. People were very meticulous even about the Asian hate. People were even very meticulous about how, anti-Semitism they felt like were sparking up based on the relationships with Israel. There's a lot of issues that get prioritized. And so I have to agree. It's unfortunate. A lot of people don't listen. A lot of people think that it's okay. But the problem is, and this is where I'll, for a second, say consumers, the masses have to be more diligent, respective, and responsible in the sense that we have to be more engaged, not just around when people get shot.
We do.
I need people at the community meetings. I need people talking to each other, holding each other accountable, because those are small things that are very political. We have to get out of the space of anything goes and I'm gonna just stay out the way. No, you have to get in the way. Because that's what it's about, getting in the way. Especially when you see something going awry. Because if you don't get in the way, it's just gonna go off the cliff. So for all of those people who just want to keep saying, "Oh yeah, I stay out the way," you part of the problem too.
I mean,
Because again, who gonna hold the motherfuckers accountable?
Yeah.
If you stand out the way.
Yeah. I just wish that we had leadership that set that tone.
That's not what it's about. It is leadership that sets that tone, but because niggas aren't involved, the real people who set that tone don't get elected, don't get lifted up. That's my whole point.
You're right.
The reason scum rise to the top is because people stay quiet and support bullshit. People vote for the lesser two evils. Everybody who want to tell me, "Oh my God, you have to change. You're never going to be elected doing that. You have to become more likable." How about you motherfuckers stop participating in goddamn popularity contests? How about that? Get at a try. But guess what? Ain't enough niggas to do that. But we're gonna move on. We're gonna move on because we're gonna get into these reparations.
Yeah.
Let me go ahead and bloop bloop. Yeah, man. If you with us, go ahead, leave a comment, hit the like button. Go ahead, share it, please. We appreciate it.
All right. So it says Jamaica set to seek compensation from Britain over slave trade. It says Jamaica is preparing to request compensation from Britain over its role in this transatlantic slave trade in the 17th and 18th centuries, when at least 600,000 Africans were shipped to the Caribbean as enslaved people, Jamaican officials told Reuters. Jamaica long served as a key node in the slave trade network that spanned continents, driven by Spain and then Britain. The country, a former British colony, independent since 1962, is set to seek reparations in a petition submitted to Britain's Queen Elizabeth II. Olivia Grange, Jamaica's Minister of Sports, Youth and Culture, told Reuters her government would seek reparatory justice in all forms to repair the damages that our ancestors experienced. Our African ancestors were forcibly removed from their home and suffered unparalleled atrocities in Africa to carry out forced labor to the benefit of the British Empire, she said, but did not divulge the exact sum to be sought. That's interesting. The petition, Reuters reported, is connected to a motion filed by Jamaican lawmakers Mike Henry to seek more than 10 billion, his estimate of how much enslavers received in compensation after Britain abolished slavery, freeing an estimated 800,000 enslaved people in 1834. Britain made those disbursements after taking out a mammoth loan, the interest on which is finished paying only in 2015. Enslaved people transported to the Caribbean were forced to work in dire conditions on sugar and crop plantations, where deadly diseases were rife. As many as 20 million African men, women, and children were enslaved during this period, according to estimates. Many plantation owners resided in England, with established slave based industries across the Caribbean funneling wealth to the British Empire. And it goes into a lot more as far as them destroying like a statue due
Mm-hmm.
to Black Lives Matter, and it also talks about other Caribbean islands requesting their reparations as well. And I want to definitely start with the hooray. We can get the hooray. You know, I think a lot more countries definitely need to to get on board with requesting, at the very least, requesting that the suffering stops.
Yeah, and that 10 billion, it was low.
It was low. I don't think they took into account like inflation,
They gotta get on Black American numbers.
and
You talking about trillions?
and that's the major point that I want to get is that yes, these individual claims are nice, but they're gonna politely be like "f no."
What you mean?
I feel like what needs to happen is that we all need to get together and sort of spirit bomb this thing, where you get all of the nations, you get ADOS, you get everyone on one accord and attack whiteness as a whole. That's including America, British, Irish,
So you talking
French.
about blackness being a monolith?
Huh?
So you talking about blackness being the monolith?
I'm talking about these claims because Europe as a whole is not going to award anything to anyone individually, in my opinion.
What you mean?
There's always going to be a sense of, hey, this was a trade. Like, I feel like you need more people to get on board to help establish each one's claim. Because it's almost like, okay, I got this individual claim, but this country, it's like, okay, for example, let's take, well, this is a bad example, but the Bill Cosby thing. One person could come out and they can make a claim, but if I lawyer up enough, one claim doesn't do anything. What? Fine. But if you start to get enough people to really start to connect the dots and you get enough people speaking, now you have to address these things.
Yeah, but that's where the solidarity comes in. It's not necessarily a consolidation of the claims themselves.
Yeah.
You can't consolidate the claims.
Well, not, yeah, I
because
didn't mean
the
it that way.
claims exist on different territories.
Yeah.
But what you can do is, matter of fact, support each initiative from a social capital standpoint.
Yeah, that's probably what I meant to frame.
So, and that's the thing. ADOS supports all reparations claims. But ADOS does not support a one catch-all reparations claim.
Yeah, I wouldn't either.
Because it does not work. It does not make logistical legal sense. But yes, if you are seeking reparations, whether it be from the Caribbean, whether it be
from continental Africa, everyone needs to listen.
We agree. But the problem is, though, when it come back around, this is the epicenter. America is the epicenter of race creation. America is the epicenter of race in general. So what happens is nobody supports ADOS. But what people have to realize is that's where the domino starts. Because of what America is. Because it has reached a level of global power. It is the greatest power right now.
Yeah, I would agree.
So, if people understood that, yes, that is a thing, I agree that the solidarity has to be there, but there also is a order in which the dominoes have to begin to fall.
Yeah.
In terms of the powers of the nations in which we want to see crumble. Because again, if you don't ever address race in America, they get away scotch-free. Because like you said, it was a trade. But race and the justification did not come about until the Americas.
Yeah.
If you don't start here and topple here, you run a risk of not being able to address any of those things. Because again, if we aren't talking about the fact that Nigeria still has a slave population, and that's a homogenous society, black on black. But when you talk about India and all of these other nations who have black on black, who are at the behest of the queen still, if they don't address that, though, and address what we are here, which is a problem they created through the selling and trade of, like you said, to your point, that gap is exploited because these continental African nations are not on board full throttedly.
And it's always going to be somewhere to tie in. Well, this is what you benefited from, said, you know what I mean? And it's like that with every single claim because of the fact that it was a trade.
Mm-hmm.
And all you have to do is, legitimize whatever it was. And that's what eventually happened. Like, because the actual bid or whatever, it was turned down. And of course it was going to be turned down because it's not really a substantial claim because of the fact that, okay, these things happen, but you can't connect, well, in their eyes, you can't connect directly what Jamaica's going through now to that because there has been regimes who have stolen and pillaged and done all of these different things that look like you.
Mm-hmm.
Even though we aided and abided it, but you can't prove that.
And I hope you try. Because we got control over the tech.
Exactly.
We know how to move all of this thing and we know how to cover it all up.
So I say, like, and really it all ties to what I was talking about yesterday, man. It's like when we talk about breaking a lot of these different things, we really have to address our participation as people in a lot of these oppressive systems.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like until we can reckon with our people what our people have participated in, and we're able to like get a real historical sense of that, we're always going to get, because they use the history against us. And we're not able to properly put it into context because we're just getting mad and angry. And it's like, well, we put this black person here, and we put this. It's always a circular thing because we're just getting mad and we're not looking at the history. We're not looking at what our own people have done and played in this whole wheel, this whole machine of imperialism.
Mm-hmm.
Because we've had our part to play in to this day.
To this day. Niggas being willing tools thinking they the master.
Exactly. Thinking you gonna get in here and be Mr. No. You gonna go get my coffee like I said last time.
I'm gonna fire your ass and get another nigga.
Exactly. And that's the way it goes. But you got too many people that still lining up to do it. And it's like, no, you Negroes are still not learning. Still not learning. You got people on TikTok right now still going viral and they supposed to be striking. What are we doing here? We have no self-control. Them people at the Montgomery bus, they was prepared to go years and not take that bus.
Feet bleed.
We can't even get the TikTokers to go a couple weeks before y'all right back on there doing them dances.
You can get them out. Yeah, get them out. Get them the hell out of here.
Do we have a very serious problem?
Can you get her on the cold and gray Chicago moon, and that little baby child is born in the ghetto? Ain't nobody got time for that.
This is what we had in 2020.
You can get them out. Yeah, get them out. Get them the hell out of here.
This is what we at. They boycotted the bus for what? 8, 9, 10, damn near a year.
Yeah.
You mofos couldn't put TikTok down for 3 weeks.
Couldn't put the NFL down for a whole season. Niggas was on radio shows making excuses for watching the Super Bowl, trying to create half-ass arguments like, oh, well, that don't necessarily count as the season because the season is the reason that we supposed to be watching. And so now shut your weak ass up.
From Jesse Jackson, damn riddles and rhymes and shit. People make me sick,
man. People make me sick. But nah, hey y'all. So we're going to head out on this beautiful Sunday. If y'all definitely try and call in, man, look, the link is in the description if you're watching on any of these platforms. YouTube, Facebook, hop in.
And please, if you are a Democrat, please, I just want to sit down and I just want what the bright side of all of this is. Because if you see it, I want to see it too.
They get a little bag.
Well, there you go. There you go. Plain and simple.
Like, yeah, and they said boycotting nature. It's crazy that it's as hard as people make it. It's like, bro, people say like, oh, it's so hard. It's like, look, the shit is supposed to be hard. That's what discipline is about. That's the whole reason of discipline.
But my thing is, it's not even that hard. If you think, bro, we can't even. Bro, it's different websites you could use, but we can't even boycott Amazon. All you gotta do is go to eBay, go to Walmart.
But Walmart just as bad though. That's the crazy part.
I mean, but still, like,
still what?
All we asking y'all to do is to not do this. Hey, you can still go and online shop. It's 1,000 other places. It's 1,000 other places you can go. Just don't use this.
Yeah, the overtly, and that's the thing though. I appreciated the person. Shout out to you. I'm gonna highlight the comment because she said overtly, and a lot of people try to conflate, but it's like no, that overt shit is a whole different ballgame. That overt shit is a nigga just disrespecting you and just being like, I don't give a damn.
Yeah.
Like, it's one thing to not know and be ignorant, but when a motherfucker come out and just start just currying in any kind of way, that's when you gotta make the hard decision to like, nah, I cannot allow this disrespect. Like, for example, the NFL shit. It's like, bro, when you come out and make that hard, definitive stance of like, I am racist and I don't care. Joe Biden, I am racist and I don't care. That's when you got to make a hard decision of like,
no, I don't care.
Fuck you.
They could put a monkey in that office. If Jim Crow Joe is running against that monkey, I'm voting that monkey. Like I told you, I would have voted Beto O'Rourke over Jim Crow Joe. I don't even know what he stands for, but he better than Jim Crow Joe.
It was a lot of different options that I would have been willing to vote for.
I'm sorry. I don't need an AK rifle. He was right. We don't need no guns.
But
the way stuff going down.
People got their shit chose for them because you got bum niggas like Jim Clyburn out here.
Oh, fish fry.
Sucking them off.
Hey.
Like he could have put up anybody, but Joe Biden was his guy when he was a Dixiecrat. And then this nigga be running around talking about, did you see what they doing over in Ohio to Nina Turner? Crushing her.
And my thing is Mo,
the Black Caucus, nigga, the CBC, nigga, they gotta cancel them niggas.
That's what I'm saying. Back then, Jim Crow Joe with a Billy Club fucking joke, Jim Clyburn.
Right across the head.
Right across the head, but you over here serving fish and grits and biscuits to this man.
It's the Obama effect.
Make me sick. Man.
But we appreciate anybody for tuning in, man. Anytime y'all want to call in, if whatever type of content, whatever type of topics y'all want to see covered, leave it in the comments section, and I will incorporate those moving forward because I want to talk about some things that you all want to talk about. So maybe you all can come up here and give your opinion on some things that you care about. But till then, enjoy your Sunday. Like the video, share the video, leave a comment, please. We thank you. We love you all. And we thank you. Y'all enjoy, be safe, and thank you. On a beautiful Sunday. It was cool in here. If y'all in DC, it was cool out here. Mm-hmm. But yeah, man. Let all that shit go. Let all this shit go.
Stop the violence, man. For real.
Yeah, hearts go out. Condolences again.
Stop the violence, man. Let the kids grow.
Man.
Let them